This reading of the book, It's Milking Time, by Phyllis Alsdurf, is brought to you by Greenwood FFA and the Perry County Farm Bureau.
Every morning, every night, it's milking time. I slip under barbed wire and race down the lane. Fast, I'm late. Dad's waiting on me to start milking. Come boss, I holler, come boss. There by a stand of poplars, a huddle of black and white starts to move. JJ, as usual, leads the Holstein parade.
Single file they come, on the same warm path. Come boss, it's milking time. Cuds a-chewing, tails a-swatting, hooves a-pounding, into the barnyard they trudge.
I close the gate and head to the barn, where Dad piles grain in front of each stall. I scoop soybean meal on top and set up the milkers. Together we lay down a bed of fresh straw. Outside the cows bellow and snort. Ready, Dad says, and I open the barn door.
Impatient and hungry, the cows heave themselves into the barn. Their hooves clack across the cement floor. We swat rumps to keep them moving, to the same places every time. I lock each cow in her stanchion. Dad washes off teats. A is for Alfie, always first, to be hooked up to the milker. A leather strap across her chest holds it in place. Every morning, every night, it's milking time.
I lean against a dusty windowsill and see sunlight setting on a field of corn. Dad's arm rests on my shoulders. Sure could use some rain, he says. The air is hot, heavy. Overhead a fan whirs, tails swishing. The cows chomp and chew their cud. Dad turns on the radio, low, so we can hear the weather report, or maybe the ball game.
I hear the slurp of suction. Alfie's done. Time for Bertha, I yell to Dad. Alfie, Bertha, Casa, Dee, an alphabet of cows to milk. Each time a milker fills, Dad empties it into a pail that he carries, arm outstretched for balance, to the milk house.
A cascade of blue and white empties into the strainer and gurgles through to the milk can below. Dad pours some into a pitcher to take up to the house when milking time is done. Underfoot, cats lap up foamy spills. Every morning, every night, it's milking time.
In a corner pen, a half-dozen calves wobble awkwardly on legs spindly and weak. They bawl for attention and shove their boxy heads between worn wooden slats as they nuzzle for food. Feeding them is my job, something Dad lets me do all by myself.
I fill their trough with a pyramid of grain and unravel a bale of hay. Dad hands me a pail, heavy with milk for the calves. I climb into the pen, and a small calf with a triangle of white above his nose bumps against me. Looks like you've got yourself a friend, Dad laughs, as he moves the milker to the next cow. The calf gives a baby moo. What do you want to name this little guy?
The calf nudges my leg, and I wrap my arm around his neck. He looks up at me with liquid brown eyes. Buddy, I say. Every morning, every night, it's milking time.
Soon every cow's been milked, and 2, 3, 4 cans have been filled. One by one, we unhook stanchions. Go on, girls, get out of here, says Dad. Tch, I urge from behind. Move on out to pasture. Then the barn is empty. A swallow swoops through an open window and out again.
We shovel manure into gutters so the paddles of the barn cleaner can carry it to a waiting spreader. Later, it will fertilize the fields. I scrub the milkers and strainer up to my elbows in suds. Dad lifts the last milk can into the cooler. Tomorrow, they'll go to the creamery.
The milk gets made into butter and cheese, or poured into bottles, and sold in stores and at farmers markets everywhere. People in places near and far use the milk on their cereal, the cheese on their sandwiches, the butter on their sweet corn. Every morning, every night, it's milking time.
We fan out bales of straw, betting for the morning, when it will be milking time again. Dad opens the cooler and takes out the pitcher of milk. By now, a thick skin of cream floats on the top. Mom will skim it off for morning coffee, and I'll drink the milk, our milk, with my pancakes.
As the summer sun disappears and the sky turns a dark shade of blue, Dad and I walk up to the house, single file, on a path worn in the grass.
For one more night, milking time is done. Every morning, every night, it's milking time. Every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, it's milking time. The end.